welcome back to my channel. My name is Laura, and today I'm doing a tag. It's called the Reader Problems tag. There is 11 questions, and I'm just going to answer them. And I saw this tag on CC, Problems of a Book Nerd, so I will link her channel below. And I'm just going to go right into the questions and share my opinions on the questions. So, now, question number 1 is you have 20,000 books on your TBR. How do you decide what to read next? That's very simple. Sometimes there's a movie that's coming out and I want to see that movie and I know it's coming out, so I move that one up to my, like I'm trying to read Allegiant right now because the movie's out. I wanted to read Pride and Prejudice Zombies. So I wanted to read that one, so it kind of moves up onto my TBR. So that's one thing. I also belong to many Goodreads groups, and they have book clubs, and sometimes those books are chosen for me, especially Read with Friends. I really like reading with them. From Leaning Lights is host that one. So she always picks the books, and then those books actually go up on high of my TBR, so I get more books read. And then I basically just whatever mood I'm in. If I want to read something classic, if I want to read something YA, if I want to read new adult, yeah, I'm a very moody reader. So yeah, so whatever grabs my attention. So that's how I grab off my shelf. Or if someone tells me you want to read this with me, and I always do that. So that's my first question. Question number 2. Halfway through a book, you're not feeling it. Do you quit or are you committed? I'm a quitter. I can't drag. It definitely puts me into a reading slump when I can't get into the book and I don't know what's going on, and it's not worth my time to finish it. There's so many other books on my TBR that I know that I'll like, so I always put it down. I give it away, I donate it, or I will bring it back to the used bookstore in exchange for something else that I'll like. So yeah, lately I've been DNFing a lot of books. Okay, question number 3. End of the year is approaching, and you are so close to your Goodreads challenge. Do you try to catch up, and how do you do it? It really depends. I've tried to set my Goodreads goal to a low number. This year I have it set for 100, and I'm already at 38 books that I read already. So I know that I'm going to reach 100, but I think I really need to slow down because I'm starting to get into a reading slump. But if I'm very close to the Goodreads goal, I will try to pick up either something easy to read, something like middle grade, or maybe graphic novels. They definitely are fast to read, so that will add up in my goal to get my goal number up. So yeah, so that's, I do not I never reread books, hardly ever. So yeah. Okay, question number 4. The covers of the series do not match. How do you cope? I cringe. I hate when the series don't match. My one thing is I bought the whole Mortal Instruments series. I have the whole series, City of Bones and City of Ashes. I have the whole series all the way up to Heavenly Fire, and then they changed the covers. That so annoys me because I own all the books, but I am not going to buy them unless I give them to my daughter, and then I buy the new sets. So that's the only reason, and I have done that before. My son has Harry Potter used, and I didn't want him reading the Harry Potters at the same as my books because they ruin them. So I actually bought the paperback for me, so I have my own, and I also bought the Lightning Thief series. So I have Percy Jackson series myself, and my son has the Percy Jackson series. So we both have 2 copies, but I have the new one. So yeah, so I will buy a new set. So that's my story on that one. Question number 5. Everyone and their mother really loves a book that you didn't enjoy. Who do you bond with your shared feelings? I sometimes share it on YouTube. I will share it on Facebook. I will share it with my friends that I didn't like it on Goodreads. And I do look at the Goodreads reviews to see if anybody had the same situation as me. So, like, say, for an example, I did not like Fangirl. The Simon parts just annoyed me to any. That was the first book that I would have DNF'd that book. It would have been, I would have sat it down. I would not trudge through, but I read all the reviews, and everybody was giving it 5 stars, and I couldn't figure out why. So I found somebody who didn't like it as well. Same thing, that they were struggling with the same thing, and they said just skip those pages. So that's what I did. I skipped, but I felt like I didn't read the book, but I did finish it. But I skipped some pages. So to me, I feel like that's not reading a book. But yeah, so I don't really like to skip pages. I read from front to back, and if I don't like it, I'm just going to put it down. So that's why my rating was really low. It was like a 2-star because I skipped pages. I don't consider skipping pages part of the finishing the book, but I did finish it because I struggled throughout the whole Fangirl, and that's my story about Fangirl. I just didn't like it. Okay. Question number 6. You are reading a book in public and you are about to cry. Do you cry? That's never happened before, but yes, I have read a book, not in public, but I've been reading a book at home. I will cry in front of my kids. They will ask me what's going on. Yes, but I haven't read outside, and I'm sure I probably would cry in public, so yeah. Alright, so number 7. A sequel of a book is released, but you forgot the plot of the first book. Do you reread, skip the sequel, try to find the synopsis, or cry? So, I never reread. I would not skip it because I enjoyed the first one. So I would go and try to find the synopsis. And then Cece had a good point to read the last chapter of the book if you own it. Most of the time I don't own them. I had them out from the library when I originally read them. But if I owned it and I want to continue on, I would probably do that. I would probably pick up the last chapter and read that, and just to give it a synopsis to go. But I also have a reading journal, and I write down all my thoughts and stuff in that, and hopefully that would trigger a little bit of my memory of what happened in the book, because sometimes I put in my journal, I'll put the spoilers and why I liked it or why I didn't like the book, and yeah, so that's all written in my journal. So I've shared my journal before, so... Question number 8. You do not want anyone borrowing your books. How do you say no? I don't really mind when someone borrows a book. I just don't. I want the book back if it's a good one. If it's my favorite book, I do want the book back. But if I really needed to buy another book, I would just buy another book if they damaged it. So that's my answer to that one. Question number 9. Reading ADD. You picked up and put down 5 books in the last month. How do you get through your reading slump? I am in a reading slump right now. I'm reading like 5 books and I can't get into them. How do I get out of it? I don't really know. I need to take a break. I watch TV. I use my phone. I do apps. What else do? I do YouTube videos. I watch YouTube videos. I'm like constantly trying to get back into reading, but I really have to struggle and try to stay in one book and not keep on changing, because I think that's why I have ADD. So yeah. Okay, question number 10. So many books are new releases that you are dying to read. How many do you buy? I've been trying to really not buy the new releases, and I'm trying to use the library. So if you see me reading a new book, you will see that I am reading the library book. And if I like the library book, then if I give it a 4 or 5 star, then I will buy it. Like, I did read Salt to the Sea, and I really, really, really liked that book, so I bought the book after I read it. I bought the book. So I took out Truth Witch, and I tried reading that book from the library, and I am so glad that I took it out from the library because I read the first page and I DNF'd it. Okay, so now I'm reading another one from the library called Life Touch? No, I don't even. Where's my books? My books aren't even here. I moved them. Anyway, I'm reading another book from the library. I'm going to try my hardest to request them from the library, and then if I like it, then I will purchase it afterwards. So that's my goal for this year, because a lot of times I buy books and I don't like them. So yeah, so that's what I'm going to try my hardest to do. So yeah, I struggle with that. So yeah. Okay, the last question is question number 11. After you bought new books, how long do they sit on your shelf before you read them? They sit a very long time on my shelf. I don't have that much time to read, and I do read almost every day. I read, and I am reading 100 books for the year, but they do sit on my shelf for a long time, and I think that's because the library comes in, and I'm grabbing books from the library, so the books that I already own are not being read because I'm grabbing new books from the library. So yeah, the library is an issue, but that's how I'm getting the new books now, and yeah, I recommend doing the library because it is saving me some money, but the books that I already had are sitting on my shelf, as you can see on my shelfie tours. So anyway, I hope you enjoyed this. Yeah, it was fun talking about everything, and yes, I have ADD. Reading ADD. So yeah, so anyway, thank you for watching, and I will see you in another video. Bye.